all terrible things, it started with a tweet. Anyone want to buy my share of Mojang? Blah, 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 blah. It might shock you to learn, but Microsoft weren't the only ones interested in buying Mojang and Minecraft. Indeed, Activision Blizzard and EA both had serious offers on the table, and the reason Microsoft's bid won wasn't just the $2.5 billion in cash, but also the fact that they promised to be hands-off with the studio. This has since become a somewhat famous approach with Microsoft and Xbox Game Studios, where they invest and provide financial backing without having to do too much of micromanagement to the studio itself. This was a very good deal for Mojang, therefore, and at the time, everyone in the community was almost laughing at Microsoft. This was a confusing at best and foolish at worst decision. How are they ever going to make those $2.5 billion back? But in the decades since, Microsoft have proven that they had a plan all along, and as we've seen that plan slowly come to fruition, we've seen just how smart it truly was, even though it was fairly secret at the time. We have worked out exactly what's going down, and if you want to see all of the steps, including why they made that purchase to begin with, this is the video for you. But why did they buy Mojang then? The acquisition.
So let's rewind to the year 2014, what certainly felt like darker times for the Minecraft community because Microsoft made an acquisition of the Mojang company, and they did so for $2.5 billion, and let's look at the reactions at the time. Overwhelmingly, it was people saying, why did Microsoft do this? It doesn't make any sense, not just for the large acquisition amount, but because their officially stated reason was that they wanted to unite gamers and to reach users on a wider variety of platforms, especially mobile. This doesn't make much sense for Microsoft because at the time, their big gaming platforms they wanted to push were Xbox and to a lesser extent Windows, both of which already had fully functional Minecraft ports. And so you might look at this acquisition and say someone made a huge mistake, but Microsoft did say officially at the time their real reason was that they expected the purchase of Minecraft/Mojang to make it a lot of money, and that's why Microsoft bought Minecraft. And so you might look at this acquisition and ask the question of why did Microsoft really buy Mojang? And of course, any official explanation is going to involve money. Here is an article from the time that stated that Microsoft didn't just expect to make money, but expected to break even on their purchase by June of 2015, just 9 months after the original acquisition. If we dive into the details, you can see that they did say that this was actually breaking even on the interest required, but still an absolutely fascinating claim. At the time though, looking at the number of sales Minecraft was making, sure, it was inevitable they would make maybe hundreds of millions for its lifetime, but how would they ever make the full $2.5 billion, and especially how would they justify doing it by expanding Minecraft to non-Microsoft platforms? It didn't seem like it made any sense until we started to see their strategy, and I think the first and foremost point of this was that on July 29th, 2015, just after Microsoft officially made back their interest, the Windows 10 edition of Minecraft did officially release. This started the whole chain of events that lead to the source of this video, because ultimately, Minecraft was a planned purchase with a whole planned roadmap, which we've seen come to fruition over the past 10 years since that launch, starting with expansion of the game.
If you want to make more money from Minecraft, simply make more Minecraft to make money from. This was the revolution in Mojang's logic, which came from Microsoft, and at first it seemed like it was failing spectacularly because the main version of the game did not receive an update for a full year after the acquisition. In fact, it was about 16 months till the next update released, and we all know how 1.9 went. It seemed like an abject failure that Microsoft was mismanaging, but at the exact same time, Mojang were actually incredibly busy focusing on the ports for the console editions via 4J Studios. This seemed like the more logical business unit, given that Microsoft owned Xbox. Maybe they wanted to make the Xbox version of the game supreme, but no, what they were actually doing in the background was focusing on their Pocket Edition. This was seen as a silly mobile game by many at the time, but Microsoft saw the potential and realized the value in an edition that could effectively be a successor to the original game. And looking at the Java version of the time and comparing it to the Pocket Edition, this seems laughable. Early Pocket Edition had basically nothing going on for it, but if we compare it to 0.12, where this gameplay is from, this is the first ever house I made in the Pocket Edition, by the way. Still get a bit of nostalgia looking at it. It's not quite finished here, don't worry, but they added the Nether. They added zombie horses, and name tags, and infinite worlds, and interestingly, even Xbox Live achievements. Oh, I guess I see how that ties in. Ultimately, it seemed like the mobile version of the game was on the up and up, and the only reason we could tell as to why was that Microsoft was pushing their Windows Phone business unit at the time, which was meant to compete with Apple and Android, but I think we can all say it did not. not. They even had a promotion where if you upgraded your phone's operating system to Windows 10 Mobile, you would automatically get a upgrade to the Windows 10 Mobile version of Minecraft for free. What an exciting day. But also at the exact same time, they released Minecraft for Windows 10 non-mobile. This was very strange because it wasn't the last time, but it certainly was the first, that Minecraft released a version of Minecraft for a device that could already play it. A Windows 10 PC could already run the Java edition, so why would you want to run the Pocket edition on it? The simple answer is that most people did not, and even to this day do not, and so Microsoft's acquisition was looking real shaky on the easy-to-see business metrics that the two versions of the game they released to boost Windows clearly were not working, but the actual thing they saw in the Pocket Edition wasn't obvious to us at the time, even though Microsoft were very clear about their intentions, and maybe isn't even obvious to you until you realize this. The Pocket Edition was built in C++, while the Java Edition was built in, well, Java. Java has lots of strengths as a language, and I know that people who love the language will talk about how great it is for running on servers. It also runs in its own virtual machine, so it's very portable, and also that means that it's very easy to modify, something Minecraft players do love. However, the thing that Microsoft loves about the competitor language of C++ is not just the fact that it's more performant, it's not just the fact that many more developers are going to be fluent in it, it's crucially the fact that it will run on far more devices, meaning you can run one code base for lots of different platforms. In fact, effectively every platform out there if you want to. This means that when they added Xbox Live integration, which they did to Android, iOS, Windows Phone, and Windows 10, all of these platforms could play together, and a true cross-platform Minecraft vision started to be achieved. As console players, I have to say, at the time, we were expecting that there would be a similar cross-platform update to allow Xbox players to play with PlayStation, and we sort of got that, as you'll know if you know where this Better Together segment is going, but this also marked the start of concerns, especially amongst Java players, that Minecraft was going to discontinue all the other editions of the game, because you might know that Minecraft Windows 10 became later known as Minecraft. Indeed, Minecraft Pocket Edition is also just Minecraft, while what used to be called just Minecraft is now Minecraft Java Edition. And indeed, there are many steps they have taken in this direction that we're going to have to come to, but first let's talk about the revolution that made this all possible. Because ultimately, although uniting all of the Minecraft versions together was a big move which they had plans to do, it wasn't exactly a huge moneymaker. In fact, it was a huge sunk cost in many ways, and the only business benefit you can really see is that they did so using Xbox Live accounts and achievements. Maybe more people would buy an Xbox, but certainly not $2.5 billion worth. So how did Microsoft intend to make money on this brand new cross-platform edition? Well, consider this common business advice. The most valuable B&B company in the world doesn't own any beds, and the most valuable taxi company in the world doesn't own any taxis, and indeed, the most valuable social media companies don't produce any media themselves. They let other people do it, and they simply connect the buyer and the seller, or the producer and the consumer, while taking a cut, and this is something that Microsoft saw the value of doing with Minecraft. But the problem is, how? What value was being created in the Minecraft ecosystem that Microsoft would be able to capture some percentage of? Well, the closest thing they had was what was called the store at the time, which allowed Minecraft to sell DLCs. This originated from the 4J Studios console editions, and it was the only way that console players could access skins, texture packs, and mashup packs. And so to justify the fact that it came with a price tag, 4J Studios put real artists into making each of these things, and they did actually make very hefty profits on selling their own take on a Mass Effect world, or Skyrim. It's now called Dragonborn, but that's a point for another day. Or indeed, the idea of making texture packs. These all became popular because these were high quality pieces of content that console players proved they were willing to pay for, and so they implemented it on the Pocket Edition, and people were willing to pay there too. However, this was still Microsoft indirectly, effectively being a producer of content that they would then sell. It's the same problem of Minecraft itself. When they make a Minecraft update, it costs them X amount of money, and so they hope that they make Y back, but it's still taking a risk. What if you could remove that risk altogether and not make any of the content, but still make money from the sales? Well, then you've just invented the marketplace. Microtransactions were becoming a popular business model in the gaming industry, and so Minecraft sought to add these to their game in the least controversial way possible, and so they did so using Minecoins. Oh god, just every part of this is designed to emulate the way that casinos work by taking your real world money and giving you chips instead, making it easier to spend them, but also it doesn't divide into any known currency in the world, and also it doesn't divide into content you can buy on the store itself. But even more clever is the fact that if you want to buy something, you can't just buy the Minecoins for it. Instead, if I want to buy this delightful looking add-on I see here, ooh, looks fun, I'm going to have to spend 660 Minecoins, but they sell them in bundles of free 320, which means I have to buy at least 3, giving me 300 left over, or I could buy this bundle of 960 and you get a bonus of 6. Oh my god, okay, you can't do it. It's impossible, apparently. Anyway, the marketplace was officially launched in June of 2017, and after just 3 months, it made its first $1 million. This was when the marketplace had 12 partners, and ever since then, it has been a financial success for Mojang and Microsoft, as it not only remains in Minecraft today, but has been expanded massively further with many more creators, it's in the hundreds now, weekly content releases, there are literally dozens of separate pieces, and a marketplace pass subscription, integration with realms, and the ability to purchase add-ons that you can apply to your existing worlds. I can actually back this up with a personal anecdote and tell you that many of the partners I work with are fully willing to admit that there are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year just on their cut of the marketplace, and as you'll know, there are many cuts that Microsoft are taking, and so as a result, this means that Microsoft are making not just their hundreds of thousands, but their hundreds of thousands per partner potentially. There is a lot of money that goes from the marketplace directly to Minecraft, and as a result, when you see the next Dungeons & Dragons Hello Kitty Sonic collab, you understand exactly the money which is talking behind this. Anyway, Minecraft worked out the platform business model. They did so in a very lucrative way, and they did so at the exact same time that they were working on making what was then called the Bedrock engine Minecraft, Pocket Edition and Windows 10, into one ultimate version of the game. They'd figured the only logical name was Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This was announced in September of 2017 with its Better Together update, merging the Pocket Edition, Windows 10, and soon to be the console editions into a single unified Bedrock Edition. This is a fun name that would allow for cross-platform play between mobile, PC, and console, and what's even more interesting is this was marketed as a huge benefit because it allowed all sorts of new features to be accessed on consoles for the first time. Ultimately, it also was a way for Microsoft to not just save on costs, unifying Pocket Edition and console development meant that they could substantially save on how this was done, but also this would allow them to sell each of these players brand new marketplace content. Instead of just having content created by 4J, they could have content created by anyone at a much larger scale that clearly substantially more people buy, but also they implemented the character creator, which is a way to customize your skin by buying individual pieces of gear, some of which you can find in Serial, but also they implemented emotes, which you can have a few of for free and you get some by earning achievements, but you can buy some of these too. Microsoft pulled off the genius business strategy of not just becoming a platform, but marketing becoming a platform and therefore making more money with lowering their costs and then arguing this was a great move for the consumer. And you know what? In general, I think most Bedrock players feel like this is true. I think the only people who feel scorned from this are Java players from afar, because this new one version of Minecraft also benefited Microsoft in that it is generally called the new Minecraft. It's like new Coke, if you will. This new version of the game is the main one in many ways when it comes to marketing, and this has led to all sorts of fun things of the community, but just know for now that Minecraft splitting the game in two was a very clever move, particularly because it affected how they release content updates. Prior to the acquisition, Minecraft launched updates on a when we feel like it basis. There were updates every month for the alpha and beta phases, and then after the full release came, Minecraft were releasing several updates each year, and then the acquisition led to what we will call the dark year, something that seemed like it was going to be a bad time, particularly for Java players, but it did eventually culminate in the combat update. Okay, that's not a particularly loved one either. Despite the controversy of the brand new worst combat system in many eyes, this did change the game in many ways for the better, the biggest one being the Outer End Islands, which are famous because they introduced Purpur, which I think it's hilarious. No one uses that in builds now, but people do love to use their Elytras. But what's interesting is even though this update had so much good to it, the combat mechanics were so controversial that the implementation of this update for console and touch devices was put on hold temporarily for a potential rework of this system on Java in the future. That's right, they were willing to release this willy-nilly on the Java edition, but when it came to releasing it on their other versions, they felt like they had to be cautious. How cautious? So this update released in 2016, and so they put it on hold for a couple of years, and in the year 2025, it is, oh, still not here. Okay. Anyway, Mojang also decided to move into a different update system of going up for smaller updates, which kind of went unsuccessfully, and then finally into the annual major update, which was a huge move for Minecraft and was the point in the game where people started to fall back in love with it. Although Minecraft had always been growing in sales, this was the moment where Minecraft updates had become a major annual release to look forward to, be it the Update Aquatic, the Village and Pillage, and more famously, the Never Update and Caves and Cliffs. And sadly, like oh too many things, this system seemed to drop off in popularity long before it was left behind, with the Wild Update seeing more more mixed reviews, Trails and Tales being a bit more meh, and Tricky Trials being my favorite update for a while, but needless to say, many people went, I guess when it came out, which is why they have now moved to the drop system, which is a pretty recent change in how Minecraft delivers updates to players, with Mojang deciding to instead focus on not releasing a single update annually, but instead releasing content in smaller batches multiple times a year. In other words, Minecraft is following the games industry more broadly, partially because they probably would have done this anyway, but partially because this is something Microsoft thinks is a good idea to help bring players back to the game. They also think it's a good idea to rename the Pocket Edition to Play with Friends, and I don't know if they're onto something with that, but I do know that it's yet to be determined how well the drops will add content to Minecraft over the course of entire years compared to their previous system. However, it does allow Mojang and Microsoft to market the game and its updates more frequently, and I can tell you just from my perspective, seeing the community hype for updates, people are far more excited for an update that has development that ends a few weeks after it starts and then is released in public so they can move on to the next batch, rather than effectively having 10 mini updates that combine together to make one big one in the way that the Never update or Caves and Cliffs did, and so this has been very, very popular so far. The usage of these updates and later drops as a way to promote the game isn't a secret to anyone that has been anywhere near an advertisement for the game recently. However, it is a part of Microsoft's clever move to realize that you can market Minecraft anytime you like, but the time where you will get the most hype and the time where you'll get the most return players is when there is something new for people to experience, which is why, even though it costs them money, updating the game is a major priority for Microsoft. I think this is something that is so wildly popular that they don't exactly need to do it in the shadows, but something that might be surprising to you is just how much Minecraft has expanded, not the game itself via the additions or indeed via the updates, but rather the franchise of Minecraft.
Franchise expansion. So recently, Minecraft had a bit of a controversy because they released a brand new cape that you could get in the game of Minecraft only if you purchased this item from their shop. And yes, that is a real-life cape, and it really does look that questionable, but the idea of selling an in-game item of prestige such as this inside of the game shop seemed like second nature to Minecraft, although they did have to cancel it, but this was in truth just one part of the mega franchise expansion that has happened with Minecraft. Because let's be honest, it's big business now. In fact, it's not just capes you can buy, it's brands of Doritos, it's tickets to real-life events, it is items within the game, and I'm gonna take this off now to be honest with you. The truth is, Minecraft has expanded from being a single game made by an indie developer into being one of the most recognizable properties, and literally owning recognizable properties. Let's talk about those.
Don't worry, if I wanted a new hat, I could simply go to shop.minecraft.net, something which has existed for a very long time, but which certainly has gone through lots of iterations, trying to make more and more money from merchandising the game effectively. But the thing that you are probably much more familiar with is Minecraft spin-offs, and so let's go through these in chronological order. You might be familiar with the very first one that came out, Minecraft Story Mode, and there is lots to say about this game, but it ultimately already has been said. So I'll give you my most positive thought I probably can muster, which is that Minecraft Story Mode exists. It certainly does. I mean, it generated a lot of hype when it first came out, but as the episodes released, they started to become very stale in formula, and so I think that the real interesting thing about this game is that it's seen a bit of a resurgence recently, maybe because of nostalgia, but particularly because the people who made it, Telltale Games, did in fact close down, and it discontinued the game as a series, meaning that now it has technically vanished, leaving a lot of wider impacts on the industry as a whole, but Mojang does still technically own rights to the game, so who's to say they don't come back and use those? Anyway, Minecraft also released Minecraft Education Edition, which I guess you could argue isn't a spin-off edition as much as it is a brand new version, but it was released in the Microsoft era of the game, and it was something they were very keen on. It's very closely developed with the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, but it does interestingly have a unique feature, and that it's available on Mac OS, presumably because some schools have Mac, and Microsoft really wants to put this in schools. Now, the thing about this game is it actually doesn't make them very much money at all, and is there exclusively to allow teachers to plan lessons and students to learn things about Minecraft, and so you might have the question, why does Minecraft bother with this? In fact, I think the broader question that I've always wondered is, why is it that giant companies that ostensibly have a duty to provide the most value to their shareholders, in fact they have a legal duty to do that, why is it that giant companies put so much work into effectively loss-making social outlets like this? And the best explanation is that every company exists and is allowed to make money, but only because we live in a democratic society where we all agree to keep letting them make money effectively, there is always a little bit of kind of implied threat in there that if we really hate what a company is doing, we could always stop them at any time. And so it's important that every company at least looks slightly good, and one of the easiest ways to do that with Minecraft is to make it not just seem like a game, but a game that actively allows teachers to do that to people too. But yeah, this is a great way for Minecraft to get brownie points and to really brag about fostering student learning and boosting education, all while actually being, you could argue, a little bit of a Trojan horse for other Microsoft products, because did you know you can back up your Education Edition worlds onto OneDrive? And so really, this is an introduction to Microsoft products in the form of Minecraft and in the form of their other ones, and so maybe the Education Edition isn't such a lost maker after all, but it is certainly a confusing one, just like Minecraft Earth, which is the second true spin-off, which also had some issues, to be polite. So this was a game that focused on you going outside. We can just call it Pokemon Go for Minecraft and you'll understand 99% of its mechanics, but that was a quite unfortunate idea in the year 2019, because although it brought many unique mob ideas to Minecraft, the Glow Squid, the Moo Bloom, and the Muddy Pig, not all of which are in Minecraft yet, but you know, maybe one day. But the interesting thing about this game is that it had lots of great ideas and lots of fun mechanics, but a certain event happened which Minecraft blamed for the ending of Minecraft Earth. And so Minecraft Dungeons is the next spin-off. This is probably their most successful one. It had many unique ideas brought into Minecraft. I thought it was very fun that you could have more useful weapons than just the sword, and that you could have enough arrows that you wouldn't even need to have infinity. But what's interesting about it is that this game benefited from its release during the pandemic because many people were home to play games, especially couch co-op, and I've seen many non-Minecraft fans actually say this is a decent entry-level dungeon crawler, and that's why it sold 25 million copies presumably, but it was of course discontinued too eventually, and so maybe there will be a sequel to this in the future, but for now, this one is also over. And how can we forget about Minecraft Legends? Wait, that's the problem, it's the fact that we could forget about Minecraft Legends. This was the result of someone saying Minecraft Dungeons was a huge success because they took the dungeon crawler format and dumbed it down. What if we did the same to real-time strategy? And they did actually have an online competitive multiplayer as well as a fairly engaging campaign. However, that online multiplayer was lackluster, if we're being polite, honestly, and the vanilla campaign had very little reason for replayability, and so people who liked it played it for 6 hours and moved on. However, most people didn't like it, and so unlike Dungeons, which had that repetitive grind and come back into the game activity, it seems as though Minecraft Legends had nowhere near the success that Minecraft was expecting because they discontinued it very shortly after launch, and so yeah, that is every single spin-off discontinued at time of recording. There are numerous job postings which corroborate the fact that Minecraft are working on another spin-off game, presumably in yet another genre, and so the interesting question, I guess, that's worth asking is how is it that Microsoft has taken over this huge IP and ended up with very little success to show for it outside of that base game? I would say this actually kind of comes down to that big company that is duty-bound to shareholder problem, and that is the kind of argument if the world that, you know, the divergence between artists and business people. There are effectively two major types of people in the world, business people and artists, you could say, or perhaps you could say creatives and managers. Ultimately, creatives are really important for creating a product as much as managers are important to make sure that things run. You can't have all of one type and none of the other. Ultimately, the problem with big business is it starts to get more people who become good at managing. That's how they rise through the ranks, but being good at managing and being good at optimizing for the maximum profitability is not actually how you create great new things that people want to buy. In a free market where people can choose whatever they want, a lot of people are going to choose the best thing and not the best monetized thing. And to put this in Minecraft terms, Minecraft games that aren't Minecraft have been optimized perfectly for revenue. Minecraft Earth had all sorts of great options and microtransactions that would have ensured that if you got addicted to that game, you would spend so much on gems. And the same is true for Minecraft Dungeons, which had so many DLCs outside of their season pass, and then later a way to buy extra things and a reason to get hooked in the gameplay loop. Minecraft Legends was built from the ground up with cosmetics that you could buy on top of a paid game, by the way. Cosmetics you could buy on top of other DLCs, on top of other transactions. There were non-stop ways to monetize the Legends audience, but the problem is you can monetize each user a great amount if you want to, but if you don't have many users, you're not going to do so so great. Minecraft arguably was so successful because it rose at a time where they could just sell a bunch of copies at $20 each and didn't really mind about that so that they could have the biggest growth ever, whereas if Microsoft had owned them from the beginning, they'd have said, why are you selling the game so cheap? People will clearly pay $60, but there are so many decisions that seem smart on a business end, but are terrible on the creative end, and hopefully they learn when they next bring out a game that you need to understand that a good game needs to be a good game first and a good business venture second, in the same way that is true for a movie. And speaking of movies, have you heard about a Minecraft movie? Because I'm sure Warner Brothers would love if you have. They have a 9-figure budget for this movie, at least based on the Super Mario Bros. Movie having a $100 million one, and they're projecting they'll make even more than that. I mean, I certainly hope so. But what's interesting is that this isn't just an opportunity for Mojang and Warner Brothers to make some money from this project, but also they can co-brand and release all sorts of odd items, such as Minecraft movie, coloring books, toys, Doritos, drinks, popcorn buckets, anything you can think of can be sold here. And so this means that they can make all this additional revenue, and even if they somehow make a loss, if this turns out to be the biggest dud ever and they have to pay Jack Black's money without having audiences, well, just remember, Warner Brothers have accidentally copyrighted YouTube videos constantly using Minecraft's game music. They filed copyright strikes, including against this very channel. Definitely not bitter about that. And even if they think they're not going to make money from all of these sources, just remember they're entirely willing to make an entire movie and then write it off. I do not understand the tax system that would allow that to make any financial sense, but I also don't understand that Minecraft are willing to make money one way or another on the Minecraft movie, but then at the same time announce the Minecraft x Netflix deal. There is going to be a Minecraft animated show on Netflix, and so yeah, more rights money on this one. But also don't forget that it's not just brands and spin-offs and the game itself that Minecraft are better monetized. They also have Minecon. This was a successful event of the community that ran from 2011 to 2016, but the truth is even though they sold all of the tickets every single time, it was still a lot of work to put the event together, and even though the ticket prices were over $100, it still wasn't that profitable. And so what's the replacement? Minecraft Live. It's a live stream and so has much lower costs, even though they don't necessarily make as much back. But now they've replaced the in-person version with the Minecraft Experience. This is Minecraft's newest in-person event. It's their first attraction where people can enjoy a 45 to 55-minute experience and also get cool rewards for doing so, notably this cape in game. This is going to be traveling around the world. It started in Dallas, Texas. Now it's in London, UK. Wow, that's fun. That's where I live. And the success of this is yet to be determined. However, since it's opened a second location without any obligation, we can expect that this is making them a ton of money. I mean, it's selling for £50 a ticket. There's at least 10 tickets available every 15 minutes, and it sells out for the decent majority of the slots on a decent majority of weekends. And, you know, you don't have to do the maths to work out like, oh, that's a lot of money you can make for putting up a little show. Anyway, so this is something which is presumably being successful, but you know what's even more successful? The $110 million deal that they've just signed with Merlin Entertainment to bring Minecraft to life with a series of theme park attractions and offerings. We do not know what this is going to be like, but interestingly enough, just like the Minecraft experience, it's also in the UK. I'm honestly, you know, okay, this is something interesting about American companies. I feel like American companies invest a disproportionate amount in the UK, and, you know, that apparently means that I can go to Minecraft Live and I can buy some Minecraft villager food and then go on a Minecraft roller coaster before going out to watch the Minecraft movie with my Minecraft movie popcorn bucket, and then coming home and watching the Minecraft Netflix show before going on to the Minecraft Crocs world because they have lots of brand collaboration DLCs. It is nuts just how commercialized Minecraft is, but ultimately, when you have a brand that has that level of awareness, why wouldn't you, I guess? You know what, that's not a good takeaway from this section, but it does ultimately explain how Microsoft has managed to reach out with all of these connections that Mojang alone simply couldn't have. I think they probably made their $2.5 billion back just on these deals they've done with other companies, assuming that there was no Minecraft in existence. Their spin-offs and their collaborations alone have made them a ton of money, and that's just so far, because what about the future of Minecraft? What is Microsoft planning? There's a philosophical concept called the hedonistic treadmill, which describes the idea of all of our comforts eventually becoming just the standard base level norm for us, and this is something that can describe the way humans are always searching for that next big thing, that next great thing that will truly make them happy, and then as soon as they achieve it, they want the thing after that. We are all on a hedonistic treadmill of some form, particularly when it comes to money, and so businesses are on this to the extreme. Even though Microsoft has made several times their outlay back from Minecraft, the truth is they have this valuable asset, and so they have many big plans for it, and although that sounds a little bit creepy, a little spooky, and a little bit of a subversion of what is many of our favorite childhood game, the truth is Microsoft's future plans aren't actually all that bad for the end users. I mean, the biggest and most exciting one in my opinion would have to be the Minecraft Festival. This was originally announced in 2019, and the first event was due to be Coronavirus. Okay, 2020. Well, you know, good luck. I guess Minecraft made a few questionable COVID decisions, huh? But what's interesting is they have held all sorts of other in-person meetups because many companies find this to be a valuable way to get people who all have a shared love on the same page. So you might have heard about the Minecraft creator meetups. I wasn't invited. But they also did one for diverse creators, and indeed, I believe for developers too, for all sorts of creative tools for the marketplace. Effectively, Minecraft love to meet up with people all of the time, and having an in-person event is likely going to be the way they take this, because the Minecraft experience is effectively just a revolving thing to do, but having an actual convention is something that could come back if conventions come into style again. Who's to say that they will? The other interesting thing that we have the question of is how is that theme park experience going to be, and what is the Minecraft Netflix series going to be like? I think that Star Wars has done a really good job of turning what was a series of, let's be honest, mediocre movies that were parts of people's childhoods into a whole experience that people love even to this day, because lightsabers are cool and going to a place where you can make them or use them or go on rides that are like them is honestly so cool that it might make you want to do the base thing more. What if the Minecraft theme park is the coolest part of the franchise? What if you say, you know what, I love using my furnace in Minecraft, but honestly I loved riding in a furnace minecart so much more? There is a chance they go the exact opposite way in their blatant awful money grabs, but that is the excitement, right? Is in wondering, is this going to be the incredible next generation of Minecraft getting into it, or is this going to be something a little bit lesser on the budget front? The other question is the next spin-off game in the Minecraft franchise. Are they going to build something that is actually a delight in that genre? Clearly a lot of people at Mojang Studios have passions for lots of types of games. Are they going to take advantage of those and make one that is kind of like Minecraft Dungeons, a great entry level to another genre for Minecraft players? I don't know, but I'm excited to see. Also, what more content will we see in the game drops? We've only been a few months into the brand new drop system, but Minecraft is very intent on effectively solving the problem of you have a finite number of developers and a finite amount of developer time. How do you turn that into the most content? It's a hard question, and I don't know what the answer is, but I'm excited to see what they do with it. Also, is Minecraft going to release some more platforms? I can't play Minecraft on my fridge right now. Is that something they're going to solve? Well, apart from a native version that's coming to the PlayStation 5, Minecraft hasn't released on any new platforms since the Chromebook in 2023, and so obviously we're going to see Minecraft for the Switch too, but beyond that, do they have any big plans? I would love to know. I would love to see. Minecraft is going to continue expanding the Minecraft franchise into all sorts of ways that might feel strange. They might even feel a little contrived, but ultimately the big question isn't how much will Minecraft try to grow, but how much will Minecraft be able to? How big can Minecraft get? Okay, I know this is a cardinal sin on the internet, but I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the trillion-dollar corporation to tell you that even though it's great that we here at Microsoft have made our $2.5 billion back, and probably tenfold at this point, the truth is, I'm disappointed. I think that Minecraft could be so much more than it is, and I think the reason this is true is because we're not doing great compared to our competitors. No, not our competitors like Terraria or Stardew Valley. Yeah, we're doing much better than those. But no, the big franchise competitors of Star Wars and Marvel both also started as a niche little thing that was very popular with a small subculture that grew into the cultural phenomenons we know today. And why has Minecraft not grown quite that fast? This is something I think is clearly needed to be fixed, and that might seem silly, but the truth is Minecraft is a game that has been there for so many people's formative moments. It might just be a good game to you if, like me, you grew up and you found Minecraft when you were 16, 17 or 18, but there are so many people for whom Minecraft might be their first gaming experience, and the truth is we always value the things, the art, and the games we interacted with when we were younger so much more. I love the Muppets Race Mania in a way that I don't know that I'll love any game anymore, and I think that you could say that it's exploitative for a giant company to say, why aren't we making more money? We have all this formative experience. But I would also then say that actually, maybe we shouldn't be sad that the big company wants to bring back our childhood memories over and over again, but actually we should say, if Minecraft does succeed, and there are roller coasters and Netflix shows and all sorts of things we haven't seen, that we can bring this joy to the next generation in the way that maybe, Star Wars fans don't feel like they got to do because of the prequel movies.
Hello there.
If Minecraft exists as the same game, but better, if Minecraft exists in so many more spaces, and when you eventually raise your own kids, they can love it that much, they will get to have their own experiences with something they love. I have played so many games across my years, but the truth is as you get older and you get more jaded and cynical, fewer games cross that threshold into being, this is incredible and a core memory, whereas I still love Digimon World 2003 and the Muppets Race Mania, even though I didn't get to play it after my brother promised me I could all day in exchange for a Greg sausage roll. But all of these things that I have this deep love for have one thing in common, and it's that I played them when I was young. When times are simpler, so too are our desires, but as we grow, our nostalgia does too, and if we get to share that nostalgia with the next generation, is that such a bad thing? Is it so bad that a company gets to make billions off it? Well, I guess that might be a morality question based on whether you think there should be a company in charge of a concept as grand as Minecraft, but in the world we live in, there is, and that company, you better believe, are going to make their diamond blocks back again and again and again and again and again. Well, as I am Microsoft, I got this little piece of paper that proves it. I'm going to say that my first action to make Minecraft last for the next 50 years is I'm going to work out exactly what it is that people want from Minecraft, and I'm going to deliberately wait 5 years to do it. So, you're looking forward to that end update? I'll see you in 2030. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this accumulation of all of the last year of research that we've been looking into with Minecraft. Every time it looks like Microsoft have made a poor business decision, it almost always seems to work out for them. And is that just the joy of owning a game that has such a wide audience, or is it clever management? That's the question I'll leave you with. Until we get the end update in 2030. It's a matter of time. Anyway, goodbye.